Well, actually, the genesis of this idea was in the late 90s. My wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, is from Paris, Texas. So the inspiration for this whole story comes from her, talking to her about her childhood. It's not directly relatable to it, but it was inspirational. It was grist for the mill, as you might say. I just got this idea about a story of a young girl growing up in a trailer park. We went on a trip driving down to Paris, Texas, to her mother's house. And on that trip, I just found a lot of fertile, kind of fertile ideas along the way. We were traveling along, and I actually saw a community of trailer homes built on an abandoned drive-in movie lot. And I thought that was very evocative. I thought it said a lot about the transitions in American life. Americans always used to go to the drive-in, and of course drive-ins they haven't gone away totally, but there were thousands of them across the nation in the 50s and 60s, and it was very much a part of the American ethos at the time. And then at the very end of the trip, we were in Paris, Texas, and we went to a cemetery where my wife has some relatives buried, and I was, just standing there, kind of like Valley was in the scene in the movie, and I looked off in the distance, and I saw this monument that I thought, somehow I just sensed there's something not quite right about this. So I went walking towards it, and lo and behold, it was Jesus. And I said, wow, Jesus in cowboy boots, because the statue of Jesus walking with a cross, he had cowboy boots on, And so I thought, I think this might be the title of this idea that I have germinating in my head.
Jesus in cowboy boots has been in my crawl for a long, long time. First time I read it was about 10 years ago. And it's just awesome. Just loved the script. Being from Texas, kind of a little white trash myself, the whole feel of it, the trailer park, there's so many elements that this script, I remember when I finished reading it, I could not get to the phone fast enough for the guy who gave it to me and said, find that writer, I need to talk to him. I want to produce this movie. The good news is, when we finally had our opportunity, I can tell you all the blood and guts of it, but the bottom line is everything came together through a lot of hard work, and I always say a couple of lucky things happened for us over the last couple of years, but I always say, what's that saying by Winston Churchill? I believe in luck, but I find that the harder I work, the luckier I get. That kind of was true in this case. So lots of things came together after years and years of us putting it together, and I'm very grateful that it was me and Bill that ended up getting to do it. I'm a sucker for character-driven stories like this that are well crafted and have a lot of colors, and there's just so few good scripts, to be honest with you, that just speak to me, and this one just, every time I read it, just makes me feel good. I've always loved characters like Valley Sue, who are underdogs, who were born with nothing and just given nothing and earned everything they got, and finding her way out. And that's just a structure that's always hit me. But yeah, seeing the pages come to life is remarkable. Sometimes you get bogged down in all of the work that you do, but every once in a while it comes back to you when there's a beautiful scene. Like, I was just watching some money shots with Alicia and AJ in some critical moments, and I'm just like, wow. It was all worth it. It's all worth it.